House of love and light. House of love and light. Amy, take us to the place where we can be just who we are. And it's alright in the house of love and light. House of love and light. Amy, open up the door to the place where we walk by faith and not by sight, not by sight. Through the house of love and light. House of love, the house of love and light. The house of love and light. If we get this right, we'll make the world a house of love and light. If we get this right, we'll make the world a house of love and light. House of love and light. House of love and light.
Yes, House of Love and Light. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Amy Steinberg. I'm so happy you are here for a morning of celebration, celebrating the love, celebrating the light, creating a space for us to come together, to laugh, to feel. Today, we're going to talk about clearing the clutter of our hearts. I think I told you last week that the theme for the month is in honor of the Virgos. Shout out to the Virgos. Now, I know September also has the Libra birthday, but we are celebrating the Virgo for the month of September. In October, we'll move into Libra. But look at this Virgo painting that I made for the Virgo energies. And we're reading Spark Joy by Marie Kondo this month, which is about organization, because Virgos really know how to keep it together, keep it in order, keep it organized. So last week we kind of talked about organizing our spaces in our homes, and this week we're going to talk about the clutter that lives inside of our heart. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sally and Sarah and Lindsay. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad that you're here. I see that somebody just messaged me a thumbs up. That was from Tanza. Thumbs up to you, Tanza. I think it was probably an accidental thumbs up. Do you ever do those accidental thumbs ups? It's kind of funny. Anyway, today is going to be an amazing morning of music and prayer and uplift. We are here for a mission. I created a mission when I began this at the beginning of quarantine, and it is to nourish, uplift, and inspire. I'm just going to talk about it briefly. To nourish you with spiritual food, such as prayer and meditation. Today we have a beautiful open-eye meditation at the end to a video that I made for Alisa and Erika song, incredible duo. We're here to uplift you and make you feel good. And one of the offerings today is a song from our beloved Devavani, who's out in Guam. She's probably asleep right now, I think. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Lorraine. Good morning, AJ. So glad. Vita, good morning. And Drew, I know Drew is watching with you. I also inspire you to be your highest and best you. And that's what you do for me. And that's why I made you a little video this week that honors you. So we'll also experience that. And I am just so excited. And so this morning we're going to start with one of my favorite chants. We've done this before. I'm going to do the little intro so that you can feel the spirit in the house, and then you'll join me singing. I need to ground. It's been kind of a crazy morning around here. Oh, here we go. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say it. If you're feeling discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, well, guess what? You've got to let it go. Let it go. Turn to somebody and say, let it go. Let it go. And this is what you have to say. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No, 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 no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, we're going to do it one more time, and I want you to really sing it out. You know, singing changes the energy in the room. I release, come on, and I let go. Come on, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No, 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 no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, that felt good. I hope it felt good for you. I hope you're feeling like we're releasing right now. And I hope that you know that I am here with you, even though I know my energy is a little scattered. But that's okay. That's okay. I send my love to you right now. Now, I just want to say, whew, it's been a week. You know, it's been a week. We've got the fires going on. We've got the continuation of COVID. We've got the continuation of racial tensions. So I really wanted to make sure that when we talk about clearing the clutter of our heart today, that we really get clear that once we clear our clutter and once we open our hearts, that we really are here for each other and we get to send that love out. So we're going to sing this, especially for California and Oregon, especially for anyone affected by COVID, and especially for anyone who's really in the middle of this fight, including all of us. We send our love, we send our love, we send our love. So let's take a deep breath in as we ground in. Just relax, and I will give you a spiritual mind treatment in the middle of this song. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. Join me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. Right here, right now. I presence the awareness of the Most High God. The love, the light, the peace, the joy that is this expression right now of life. In this present moment, this capital P present moment is the capital P presence. And I know that this power is in me, as me, through me, expressing through this piano, through this internet, through this computer. And it is bringing us all into a space of alignment. I know for everybody watching, everybody hearing this now and in future rewatches, I know that there is a peace that washes over, a clearing, a release of the old, a forgiveness, a peace. a washing over of God, God's energy, which is all those attributes: love, light, peace, wisdom, expression, creativity. It is happening right now for everyone watching. And we know relief. We know relief for the fires. We know relief for any illness. We know relief for any pain. We say thank you, God. Let me hear you say thank you, God. Thank you, God, for this opportunity to come together, to be, to sing, to pray, to meditate, to experience joy. And I say thank you once more. Amen. And so it is. Sing with me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. All right, I want you to, in the comments right now, tell me where you'd like to send your love. I'd like to give some shout outs. Sending love. Oh, I'm so glad you're harmonizing with me, Jan. And Sarah, sending love to you. Where would you like to send your love? Hello, Tiffany. So beautiful to hear from you. Okay, Troy, testify. Okay. George Thorne, are you watching, George Thorne? Oh, Debbie Roche. All right, Marianne, so good to see everyone. Please tell me where you'd like to send your love. I send love throughout cyberspace into our global village. I love that, Maria. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's sing. I send my love. Thank you, Cindy. We will send love to your brother. We send love to all, Sally. First responders, Jacqueline, yes. Firefighters, yes. The children, I send my love. I send my love to my mom down in Florida, yes. I send my love to the West Coast, over the sea, Oregon, California. I send my love. Good morning, Reverend Karen Frost watching. Into the heavens, and it returns to me. Let's sing it one more time, really like a prayer. Oh, my love, back to you, AJ and Nicole. Nicole is watching, and Donna. Oh my gosh, so many people watching. Otis, Janae. Oh my goodness, Chris Barber, my love, a beam of love and light all around the world. Ooh, I'm feeling this. I'm starting to feel it right here in my heart space. Let's sing it one more time, like a prayer for the whole world. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. It returns, and it returns to me. Join me. And it returns to me. Wow, it's amazing how we can center with prayer and chanting. Isn't that amazing? Thank you, Karen Drucker, for that incredible chant. And here next, we will light the candles like we always do right now. And we light the candles to honor all paths, to honor all the religious evolution. We think here that it's all important and everything is gained. There's something gained from each and every teaching out there. And today we have my mom in San Diego. I call her my mom in San Diego, my mama. Lorraine Iverson is giving the candle lighting today. So here is Lorraine lighting the candles for us. So glad you're here.
Good morning. I light a candle for the Eastern religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism, that teach us about harmony, karma, and the way. I light a candle for Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Baha'i, teaching us about tradition, forgiveness, surrender, and order. I light a candle for ancient wisdom and new thought traditions, including indigenous teachings, shamanism, paganism, science of mind, and New Age spirituality, teaching us to root and expand. I light a candle for the great mystery, the eternal question, the not knowing. Namaste.
Hello, Holla. This is Norma,
And Donna.
and we're here to talk about our gratitudes for today. For me, my gratitude is for life. Life as it is expressing as Norma and Donna. In all its magnificent splendor, the ins, the outs, and ups and downs, it is all amazing, and I'm grateful for it.
And I'm grateful for my own self and how I show up for me. The fact that I'm willing to look at myself, to pinpoint what's going on with me, fix the things I can fix, and seek out guidance where I can get it. The fact is, if I don't polish myself, then I cannot show up for other people. So I'm grateful for my own willingness to look at it. Because at the end of the day, sometimes I'm wrong, and other times I could be right. But either way, I'm willing to look at myself to figure it all out. What are you grateful for? Let us know in the comments. Bye and holla!
Holla! I love you, Norma and Donna. Those women are my mental equivalent for a relationship. And if you don't know what that means that they're people that have what you want. They have a love between them that I honor so deeply because of the way that they treat each other, the way that they speak to each other. And come to think of it, Lorraine and Doug are also another mental equivalent. So shout out to Doug and Lorraine as well. And there's so many couples out there watching. The House of Love and Light seems to have the most beautiful people attracted to it. Really healthy, loving couples and lots of single people. So which brings me to my next thing. So this week when I was thinking of clearing the clutter of my heart, and one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit is forgiveness, what came up for me was this idea of how sort of hurt I've been over losing my last position. And what happened is as I was releasing, and I keep releasing, that's another thing we're going to talk about, I really became aware of the filling up that has happened for me here at House of Love and Light. And all of your faces started coming into my awareness. So I kind of stalked everyone on Facebook, as many people as I could. Now, not every one of you is going to be in here because that's impossible. We've had hundreds and hundreds of people watch. But I tried to get everybody who I've seen here over and over again. And if I missed you, I'm so sorry. And if you're mad that I have your picture in a video, I'm so sorry. But I made this video for you. I made it for you to Lovely Heart, a Laura Berman song, because this song that she wrote, really about the love with the divine, is exactly how I feel about you, each and every one of you. So here is a dedication video. And I also want to say one more thing. Now, I don't want to get too crazy here because it doesn't say who's single and who's not single, but I have a tendency at my shows and at my experiences to be a matchmaker. It's in my blood. I'm a yenta. What can I say? So if a face on this video flashes to you and you go, oh, I think I'm supposed to know that person, reach out to me and say, hey, who is that blonde one? Or who is that person with the glasses and the short hair? You know what I mean? Like, check it out. You might meet the love of your life right now because it happens at Amy Steinberg Experiences. So this is dedicated to my Holla family, and then we'll be back with all the things. We have a song to offer from Dave Avani, we have Ash, and of course a message from me. So here is my dedication to you. And every time I watched this, I was brought to tears because every single face of yours is so freaking gorgeous. Look at this community, and it's like you've seen these names pop up on the chat, and now you're going to see the faces. This is for your lovely heart. I love you, Holla. I love this life. I love this feeling. Stepped into a knowing that's always been. There's nothing greater or more beautiful to be
bright side I was into. Well, life had a longing, and so it was. The fire melted my heart into one. Heartbreak makes room for love inside me, and my faith all the way from now until filled as high as it goes, fused inside my soul. Marry me to your love. Marry me to your love. Kisses made of light. Marry me to your lovely heart. Your lovely heart. So here we are. I'm glad to be in love with you for all time. Well, there's nothing greater or more beautiful. All me and you with gratitude. And heartbreak makes room for love inside me, and my faith, all the way from now until filled as high as it goes, fused inside my soul. Marry me to your love. Yes, well, marry me to your love. Kisses are made of light. Marry me to your love. Oh, marry me to your lovely heart. To your heart.
I know I missed some of you. I know it's impossible for me to get everyone, and I hope I picked interesting pictures. So yes, as you watched that, yes, I did go through your Facebooks and sort of pick pictures that felt like the energy of your heart. And so I hope you feel honored, and I hope that you're not annoyed and pissed off at me. So I should have probably asked every single one of you. Lindsay, I don't think I got you in there. I'm so sorry. I really tried. I really tried. Okay. Will you marry me? Marry me to your... Okay, and let's talk about Laura Berman's voice in that song. You're so amazing, Laura Berman. You're my best friend. I love you so much. Okay, so I asked Ash, of course, what he thought about love and loving and organizing the love. And of course, Ash, when you ask Ash about love, you know you're going to get some goodness. So here is Ash Ruiz with our Moment with Ash that we get every single week.
Hello there, beloveds. Ash Ruiz here. I love you. Hello there, beloveds is another way of saying I love you. I see you. I know who you are. I know that at the core, at the center, all the way through, in between, above, below, to the left, to the right, to the east, to the west, everything about you, the substance of your being is the beloved. The substance of all being is love. I like to say that there's only one ingredient in all the cosmos, and that is love. Love. It's so beautiful. It's so sweet when we make that switch, from identifying with someone who needs to learn how to love themselves to be in love itself. Love, 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 love. La, 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 love, 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 love. Take a moment right now and allow yourself to fully be here. Be as you are, because you are here. And notice everything about this moment, from the practical everyday to the cosmic and beyond. All is in support. This moment is the love letter the universe writes to itself. This moment, the poem, the song, the kiss that infinity gives to itself. Ooh. How did the rose blossom and give its fragrance and beauty to the world? Because it felt love. I love you.
There are so many goodies in that little 2 minutes that if you rewatch this, you will get them. Every time I hear it, I hear something different. This time I heard when he says, when you switch your identifying as a person who needs to learn how to love themselves into love itself. And that's what we're doing here. I can feel it. I can feel all of us transitioning throughout each and every Sunday. Every hour we grow into that love and we fall in love with each other again and again and again. And I love when he says, this moment is a love letter the universe writes itself. How much do you love that? Thank you, Ash. I adore you and I honor you so much. So now, before we go into my message, I wanted to offer you one more song, because today, as we talk about clearing the clutter of our hearts, I really wanted to open your heart. And this song, as sung by Devavani, is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's called Rolling River God. And it is the way that she sings it. I've heard many people sing it, and it's a beautiful song no matter who sings it. But the way she sings it is with a depth and wisdom that we can all only wish that we could sing with. And she's one of my mentors. Just to let you know who she is, she was the music director at Universal Spirit Center for many years before I became the music director. So she was sort of a mentor to me, and she's also a very good friend. On Monday nights, she does a chant experience, and I will put a link up on our page at House of Love and Light, so you can go experience that. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific on Monday evenings. So here is the lovely, brilliant, beautiful Devavani singing Rolling River God. Please give yourself the gift of really watching this and listening to this. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous song. Thank you, Deva.
Rolling river God, little stones are smooth, only once the water passes through. So I am a stone, rough and grainy still, trying to reconcile this river's chill. But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings best that I am. Just a little smoother in your hand. Sometimes raging wild, sometimes swollen high. Never have I known this river dry. The deepest part of you is where I want to stay. And feel the sharpest edges wash away. But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change. Change takes time. And when the sunset comes, my prayer will be just one, that you might pick me up, notice that I am. Just a little smoother in your hand. Rolling river God, little stones are smooth. Only once the water passes through.
Did you feel it? Thank you, Devavani, for that song sung with real wisdom, real connection to what that song says, which is that we're always being polished. We're always being polished. Something about that when it talks about being in God's hand, that really, it just gives me chills every time. So thank you once again to Devavani. And here is my message on clearing the clutter of our hearts. Organize, loving. Clearing the clutter of our hearts, clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Now, every week I write these chants because I hope that they get stuck in your head throughout the week. And this one has been stuck in my head since I wrote it. So I hope that this gets stuck in your head this week. It goes, clearing the clutter of our hearts, clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. All of us gather dust, lose a little hope, lose lose a little trust by the mess that accumulates deep inside of us. Loss and heartache make us cuss and rust. We're taking some time to take a look inside, no longer hiding, no longer denying the anger, pain, hurt from the past. Take a good look at last at the patterns and the stories and the worries and the fear. It's time to let go if you dare. To let go if you dare. I know you want to sing with me. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Yeah, clearing the clutter of our hearts. I forgot the change there because I got so excited. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Here we go. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. One more time, we'll do it. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Hope it gets stuck in your head. All right, from Marie Kondo, who wrote Spark Joy. Clutter accumulates when you fail to return objects to their designated place. If a room becomes cluttered before you know it, it is entirely your own doing. In other words, tidying up means, wait for it, confronting yourself. Marie Kondo's book, Spark Joy, is about clearing our space. And last week, I talked about how I looked in my closets and in my house, and I'm continuing to clear and discard. I'm curious as to how that's going for you. If you did do any clearing, I really want you to send me before and after pictures. But this week, we're going to talk about clearing the clutter of our hearts. And this quote really speaks to this idea. Even though she's talking about, your space, it feels like it's the same thing. When we clear the clutter of our hearts, we are confronted with the messes that we have made. The physical heart gets clogged when we don't eat good foods, right? And the emotional and spiritual heart gets clogged when we don't give great care to what we're digesting in our space, what we're allowing in our space. Where are our boundaries and who are we letting in? What are we letting in? And how do we know? How do we know what's good for us, what's bad for us? It's only with being in tune with our center, with our divine center, our divine self, our God self, our intuition, our nature. And this is what Mark Nepo talks about in his book, 7,000 Ways to Listen, which is the other book of September. We're going to read those two books. I'm reading a little bit each day from both of those books. And he talks about an inner sun, like the sun that rises, the inner sun. I love in this picture the idea of the sun inside of us is a spiritual gravity that pulls us to it. He says this unending pull to center may be our greatest teacher. It shows us a way forward by warming our hearts open despite our fears. And so to keep this heart open while being keenly aware of those boundaries that will keep your heart safe and that open heart safe, it's the intuition, it's the work of intuition and the work of listening. So these two things go really well together. What are some kinds of clutter in your heart? And how do we clear it? And that's all I thought about all week. What clutters up our heart? How do we clear it? What clutters up our heart? How do we clear it? And something that Marie talks about over and over again in Spark Joy is how clutter comes and then we clear it and then it comes again. We never really are completely clear of it because it's part of being alive, right? We clean out the junk drawer and then a few months later it's all junky again, and we do laundry and dishes and then guess what? We eat and wear clothes again. Hello. So life is this constant clearing, this constant practice of rearranging and reorganizing, and it's a practice and a process. Amen. Are you with me so far? I love reading these two books at the same time because Nepo's book is all about listening and getting in touch with that deep intuitive space within our hearts, while Kondo is talking about clearing space and making a place for joy. I was speaking about this week, always, going back and forth with friends, talking about the topic. And I was talking to Laura Berman, who wrote that beautiful song that you heard earlier. And she asked me a good question. She does this really Jewy thing sometimes where she's like, so what do you think about this? Like, it's like a little question, like to dive deeper into it. And she said, why do we clear the clutter of our hearts? Why do we clear our space, for that matter, or anything? And this is a really good question. I mean, why do we do any of this stuff? Why do we do upkeep spiritually and emotionally? Well, it's a simple answer. Because we can make space for more happiness, more love, more joy, more peace, more balance in our lives. So today we're going to talk about clearing the clutter of our hearts. And this came through in primarily 3 areas. When I was meditating about it, it's like kept coming up as the past, the present, and the future. Our hearts get messy when we're in resentment and anger, which is usually connected for the past, something we can't let go of, whether it's justifiable or not, something that eats us up, keeps our heart all congested. The second thing was the present, which was stories and expectations. The clutter in the present is the stories that we're telling about the people, places, and things that are in our current reality. And then finally, worry and fear is the clutter of the future. That really messes with us. So are you willing to look inside the clutter of your heart with me and clear it out a bit? Let's start by just singing again. That'll clear a little bit of the energy out just naturally by singing. Clearing the clutter of our hearts, clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. So let's talk about resentment. Yay! We love resentment. The problem with anger and resentment is that it's now really been linked to heart disease, which is the number 1 cause of death. Our hearts just can't take it. We get angry and everything becomes tense and we get sick. So when we get mad about something, whether it's a personal fight, something in the news, a political argument, I know a lot of us are having those right now, or maybe we just have something from the past that we can't let go of. This makes us ill. And my new girlfriend, shout out. I know I've been talking about her a lot, but I just can't help it. Listen, she's funny, and she's Southern, and like really Southern, from South Carolina. And a Southern phrase for anger is ill. So she's like, oh, she's so ill about it today. She's so ill about it. And I love that because it connects anger with our health. So what do? How do we clear the clutter of our anger? I know you already know this, but it is worth repeating again and again because we can't get enough of it. Forgiveness. It is the elixir, it is the salve, it is the healing potion for resentment. Forgiveness. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Just kidding. That's a little Oscar Wilde moment for you. But sometimes clearing this clutter can be something that we just have to do over and over again because because we forgive somebody once and we feel like we've moved on, it just pops up again and creates a mess. We think, how can I still be upset about this? I thought I let this go. I have a good friend who just got out of an abusive marriage, and sometimes when she talks about her ex-husband, there's this peace, and I can see that she's in this space of forgiveness, and she's working that forgiveness. And at other times, it's like it all just happened yesterday, and he's this, and he's that, and the anger's all there again. And a big thing to mention here is that that's okay, That's a part of processing something. Every time we think of the anger and choose forgiveness, we can get that it can become less and less painful, less and less of a needle triggering us, poking us, and we can keep practice. From MLK, he says, forgiveness is not an occasional act. It's a constant attitude. I love that visual that I found of the chain turning into the birds, this idea of releasing and letting go, and we're free when we forgive. So this is how we deal with the past. This is how we deal with that clutter, the anger from the past, with forgiveness. And forgiveness is really weird because it's not tangible. It's something that we feel and sense, but it's totally different for everyone. So how do you forgive? I wonder. Do you pray for the person? Do you do something loving for the person? Sometimes we can forgive by taking an action that we know that the person would appreciate, even if we don't tell them. So forgiveness and resentment is largely about the past. It's largely about what's already happened. So now when we're looking at the present, right now, we can see that the stories we tell and the expectations that we have, these are the things that keep us all jumbled up and cluttered. For instance, there's a story that I have about you, everybody that's watching. based on our previous interactions. I will expect you to behave in the same way you always have, right? It makes sense. But it is clutter. What if we gave everyone a clean slate every time we interacted with them, leaving the story of them behind? Maybe there's a friend you know that's always complaining, always negative, so you start to expect it. And when you start to expect things, you start to look for them. And there is power in your consciousness, in your choice of focus. So what if we drop the story, drop it like a hot rock, drop the expecting, especially with things that we don't like. I got a relative, and every time I talk to her, I try to communicate as if it's a brand new day. Our relationship has a fresh start every conversation because this leaves room for her to change. This leaves room for people to change. And if we do this for others, we might hope that others do this for us. Have you ever seen an old friend who knows you from high school and you know that you're so different? You've changed, even as somebody that you know from months ago, and you've changed so much, but they have a story about you. And how icky that feels and weird that feels. So maybe part of our decluttering of the present is to drop the story like a hot rock. Let people evolve, including you, even expecting yourself to be a certain way. How do we do this? I mean, all we have to do is be present. Present moment awareness. Mindful compassion. Be here now with each other. Be here now. Extend your heart space to make room for others to have the ability to grow. It's so wonderful when we see people change right before our eyes based on what we choose to perceive them as. Has that ever happened for you? It's a miracle. It's a miracle, a shift in perception. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. I love this chant. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Dropping the story's expectations. They say expectation, I love this phrase, is the mother of resentment. So if we can clear the clutter of the present, then we'll have less of that stuff that gets backed up into the past, right? And then we got the future. It's all about worry and fear. I found this beautiful quote about worry that really struck me. Worry is a thin stream of fear, trickling through the mind. If encouraged, it cuts a channel into which all other thoughts are drained. That's such a cool visual to me, I think. So this is the clutter we need to clear to really experience peace. This is the clutter that it just needs to be cleaned up again and again and again. I'm going to share something personal. I've had some financial worry, as many of you have. I'm sure this pandemic, it's been so shifty, like the whole world has been so weird. But I have never forgotten that God is my source. And my friend Jacqueline Skye, who I talk about a lot on here, but she told me to pick, she's kind of like one of my mentors right now, but she said that I should picture myself as a piece of Velcro and see money floating all around me, sticking to me. So I added this visual to my morning meditation, and some beautiful tithes came in over the next few days. It was really cool. I mean, I know that when I'm in financial fear, I can always think of other ways to generate income. I can I put my art on a website. There's some things you can check out on this new thing I'll share with you on the webpage. I've shared about it. House and Love and Light t-shirts and mugs. And I'm just thinking of my creative brain, you know. I'm resourceful. I can do shows. I'm going to do a show coming up. All my love songs. I'm going to dig back into my discography and do all the love songs, you know, my favorite love songs. Using the creative energy. We don't need to live in fear. We all have gifts and talents. I can always reach out and express to you, my community. I can say that it'd be great if you decided that what we're doing here has a little more worth. If you'd like to give more, I'd be grateful. Trust and faith, you know? Even when I'm in fear and worry, I must always remember that the antidote to fear and worry is faith. It's faith. I was also worried this week when my girlfriend didn't call me back. I started worrying. I started going all kinds of places. What happened? Is she okay? The last time I talked to her, she was standing on a ladder. I was like, oh my God, is she all right? But I kept turning over to God. I'd be like, she's fine. She's sleeping. She's exhausted. But what if she fell? And okay, she's fine. She's okay. You know, I kept turning it over, having faith. And of course, she had fallen asleep. How many times has this happened to everybody out there where you're worried about someone and they fell asleep? Terrible things do happen. I'm not here to sugarcoat that. And there are real things to worry about. And worry, anger, fear, these are tools. They're a part of the evolutionary process. I'm not saying never worry, any of that. But what I'm saying is that we can get overwhelmed when these things clutter up our heart. And it's really nice to let some of it go so we can be happier. These are the principles that we practice. These are the principles that we practice when we're in fear and worry. We think about faith. I mentioned it a few weeks ago, and it's worth mentioning again what Jim Lockhart said about it. He said, faith is not being surprised. Not being surprised when those tithes come in. Not being surprised when the gig shows up. Not being surprised when the love of your life rolls in. Not being surprised when the opportunity comes to you, the phone call comes. Oh, check it, God's working. That's what God does. Good is coming to me, coming through me. I am here for it. Let's say that. Good is coming to me, coming through me, and I am here for it. Good is coming to me, coming through me, and I am here for it. And when I get in that space, it just opens up the flow in my life in every single way. So let's try to remember this week that the clutter in our hearts is just like the clutter in our homes. It comes and we deal with it. It piles up and we take action. It's usually in waves. It's probably certain times of the year. And this year to me is wonderful for rearranging and reorganizing. In the morning walk today, I saw so many leaves on the ground. Mother Nature is reorganizing and rearranging right now. This is the perfect month for this. So please let me know how you are doing with clearing the clutter of our hearts. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter once more. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Make some space for a new start, new start. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. Thank you. Thank you for being here for that. And now we enter a time for conscious giving. How perfect, right? So there are 3 ways to give. You can text LOVE to 828-383-9889. You can paypal.me/House of Love and Light, or you can Venmo at Amy-Steinberg-5. Some people prefer to send checks. If you would like to send me a check, please private message me and I will send you my address. I cannot thank you enough for the beautiful financial offerings. I have one person right now. I'm not going to call him out, but he knows who he is. And he's like tithing a little bit every day. And I get these odd numbers. So I'm assuming that he's like really doing a tithe thing with me. And it literally pops my heart open every time I receive a small amount, a large amount, whatever it is. It's incredible. So I can't thank you enough. Throughout the week, somebody sent me like $5.11 one day, like out of the blue. And then, it's very interesting. So I'm just grateful for every single dime because this has made this whole thing possible. This has been the most flying on faith experience of my life, to say that I have something to give and that I can showcase all these amazing artists and talents that I've come across over these years of playing churches and meeting people. So thank you so much for being here for it and for expanding and extending. The seeds are starting to come in my mind about how we're going to meet in person. There's so many people from all over the globe. So I keep visualizing for some reason Colorado and sometime maybe next fall. I know it's a far away, but I know there's a lot of stuff with COVID and a lot of people are high risk. So I love the idea of us getting together somewhere and having a retreat at some point within the next year. So let me know how you're feeling about that, and I'm super excited. So Tool for the week is heart check. Okay, so I'm going to talk briefly about something called a 4th step. There's a 12-step program. I'm sure you've heard about it, AA, NA, all that stuff. Well, I've been in all the programs, okay? I've been in all of them, and I've worked many, many 4th steps. And the heart check is an idea that, everybody should be able to work a 4th step. If you've ever been in recovery, you're always like, God, man, I wish I could do a 4th step, or I wish everybody could be able to do these steps, Because if you're not an alcoholic, how do you get to do all that great work? So I just wanted to give you a brief idea of what a brief 4th you could do, like this idea of clearing the clutter. So with resentments. So what you would do is you would list all of your resentments, list who you're mad at and why, and then make a decision to pray for that person, and make a decision to look at where you have a part in it, in that resentment. What was your part in that anger? What happened with you? And then with the stories, now this is something different. This is a little bit different than AA or whatever, but the idea of the stories and expectations that we have of people. Maybe look around at the people in your lives and go, how do I expect my mom to act when I call her? How do I expect my best friend to be this week, or not call me or ignore me? Do I expect that? Or how do I expect my dogs to react when somebody walks up to the door? Whatever it is, check your stories, write them down, write down your expectations. And then with fear, this is a beautiful thing. You can write down all your fears and then pray to God to have them removed. Please, God, remove my fear of financial insecurity. Please, God, remove my fear. This is this it's a different kind of prayer, because we usually do spiritual mind treatment here, which is in the present and positive, but I also believe in every kind of prayer. And when we say, hey, God, take this, sometimes even on your knees to release it, take this fear, remove this fear, you will notice that it does shift things. So if you want to do some work this week, here it is, a heart check. You can look at your resentments, your stories, and your fear. And again, I want to ask that you take before and after pictures of any of your closets or drawers or anything that you're cleaning out if you're reading Spark Joy. So upcoming, we're going to continue with these 2 books, 7,000 Ways to Listen. If you haven't gotten it, it's fan-frickin-tastic. And Spark Joy by Marie Kondo. I'll keep referencing them. So if you read them, you're going to be with me. Next week, we get to talk about organizing and clearing the clutter of our dreams. I love this so much, because our dreams shift and change throughout our lives, don't they? We think we want to be this, and then this comes along. And so we're going to talk about that next week. All right. I'm going to take a breath. I know I've been like, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to give you one final offering here, and it is a visual meditation. It's a video to the song Listen, Oh Drop, written by Lisa Ferrero and Erika Luckett. Now, we lost Erika Luckett a while back, and Erika and Lisa were a duo that if you did not get to experience them live, I am so sorry, because wow, incredible people, incredible artists, probably one of my favorite live shows in the whole wide world. So we miss you, Erika, and we love you, Lisa. And Lisa is doing a thing called Soul Call Ministries, somewhat like what House of Love and Light is. So if you're interested in that, check that out. Google Soul Call Ministries. And here is Listen, Oh Drop. Please give yourself the gift of not only listening to this song, but watching the video. It's an open eye meditation video that I made to their song, and I'll be back to say goodbye. So please don't go anywhere. I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity every Sunday to come together with you. I hope that this has blessed your life as much as it has blessed mine. Here is Listen, Oh Drop.
Listen, oh drop. Listen, oh drop. Listen, oh drop. Listen, oh drop. In the arms of the sea, be secure. In the arms of the sea, be secure. Listen, listen, oh drop. Listen, listen, oh drop. Listen, listen, oh drop. Listen, listen, oh drop. In the arms of the sea, be secure. In the arms of the sea, be secure. Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Listen, listen, oh drop. Listen, listen, oh drop. Listen, listen, oh drop. Listen, listen, oh drop. Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Listen, 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 oh drop. 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 Listen, 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 oh drop.
Listen. Listen to that inner call to clear the clutter of your heart. Drop into that space this week of release, forgiveness, reorganizing how we choose to be with those in our lives and with ourselves. Clearing the clutter of our hearts. This was a wonderful Sunday for me. I hope it was for you too. And I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Of course, every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, we have music and meditation as well. So I hope to see you there for that. And if you have any questions about any of the artists or any of the things that I've mentioned throughout, please send me a private message. Also, before we go, I'd like to send out the prayer. There was a woman who mentioned on there and I kept missing it, and then I would go and see it and then I'd forget. So this is a prayer for Priscilla, for her daughter Misty. I don't know what is going on. I don't know Priscilla or Misty, but let's just hold Misty high in prayer, surrounding her with the angels, surrounding her with love, surrounding her with health, healing, and wholeness, knowing that God is good, God is all there is, and there is a healing going on right now, right here and right now for Misty. Thank you, God, for this special prayer. Amen. And so it is. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone. I will see you next Sunday.